Welcome, everybody, yet another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're all enjoying your day, sweet. If not, then what the hell ever. So this is a bit more of an obscure losing streak subject because it involves a losing streak, a heel turn, the end of a losing streak, and then nothingness. And it's going to be talking about Tatanka, Buffalo, New York, or wherever the hell. So, if you don't remember Tatanka, he had a run back in the 90s during the New Generation era. He developed an undefeated streak throughout 92-93, and then he lost to Ludwig Borga. Then turned heel, $1 Million Corporation, left, eventually came back in 2006. And starting in the summer, he started to go on this odd losing streak, despite the undefeated streak prior to this. So let's go over it and see what happened, because we're going to start off August 11, 2006, SmackDown. He lost to Gregory Helms in a singles match after taking the Shining Wizard. And somehow, referee Charles Robinson missed the part where clearly his left leg was under the bottom rope and dangling over the edge of the apron. But despite the fact that Charles Robinson was right there, he somehow missed that the leg was under the rope. It was right there in your field of vision. Yeah, you missed it. Come on, Charles. Now you get to the following week, August 18, 2006 episode of SmackDown. He loses Mr. Kennedy because he tries to go for end of trails or end of the trail, whatever his Samoan drop finisher is. Because Kennedy gets an eye rake, rolls him up, and uses the tights as leverage. Boom. Another loss. And during these times, you would start to see him argue with the referee afterwards. Because like I said, the last week, he's arguing hey, my foot's on the rope. How'd you not see it? Charles I didn't see it. Then the next referee's oh, I didn't see it. Because at least kind of with that, it's outside of the referee's field of vision. You're not going to see the part where he's grabbing your tights and everything while rolling you up. The following week, August 25th, 2006, he loses to Sylvester Terkay. I bet that's a name that people probably don't easily remember there. Because at the end, he hits that diving tomahawk chop. He pins Terkay, but Terkay gets a 1 count after grabbing the rope. He argues with the referee saying, wait a minute, you see this, but nobody saw my foot under the rope 2 weeks ago? And then Terkay turns Tatanka around, gets him with a roundhouse kick, and pins him. It's another bit of an iffy one there. It's wait a minute. They're weird here about the referees enforcing the rules, and a lot of these patterns you're going to see with these losses involve something weird with referees and cheating and all that crap. Next week, September 1st, 2006, SmackDown. It's The Miz's in-ring debut on the main roster, and he beats Tatanka because Tatanka's trying to get in the ring. Charles Robinson gets shoved into Tatanka, and all of a sudden The Miz comes up, eye rakes Tatanka, and then hits him with a backslide, using the ropes for leverage, and pins him. And once again, Tatanka's not happy. He's Buffalo. I'm going to go right at Buffalo out of anger. Buffalo. So, this was weird. The following week, September 8th, 2006, he loses to Chavo Guerrero. So, he hits the end of trails, or end of the trail, whatever you call it. Chavo grabs the rope to break the pin. And then there's arguing with the ref saying, why do you guys catch the other guys grabbing the ropes and breaking the pin, but you don't catch me doing it? And then Chavo from behind hits him with a bulldog or face buster, whatever he does. Frog splash, boom, another win there, or another loss for Tatanka. It's pretty weird how things are not going in Tatanka's favor. A couple weeks later actually, September 22nd, 2006 episode of SmackDown in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He loses to Sylvain, who was the ambassador of Quebec, and the crowd was widely behind him. Because Tatanka is on the outside, he gets on the apron, tries a sunset flip, but Sylvain sits through the move and grabs the rope during the pin to get the victory. So another case of the heel cheating, and the referee does not catch it. It's just what the hell? I mean, honestly, it's easy to see Tatanka's side because it's hey, you don't catch it when he actually has a legit grief here. But the other guy's cheating and everything. It's just oh, what the hell? I mean, especially that first one, I mentioned. Now you get to the following week, September 29, 2006, SmackDown. He once again loses to The Miz. Because he's doing the whole comeback. He's about to hit his finisher, but The Miz floats over to avoid it and gets a roll-up. He might have gotten the tights, but it wasn't clear based on the camera angle, and they didn't bother showing another replay, but he got a roll-up that roll-up from behind, kind of schoolboy type of roll-up there. So it's just possibly another weirdness there too, eh? I don't know, it's kind of weird with their inconsistencies. Or again, they just should have just shown from a different camera angle to show if you really use the tights. Then the following week, October 6, 2006 episode of SmackDown, he then loses to Elijah Burke. because Sylvester Terkay jumps on the apron, Tatanka knocks him off, and Burke, he's punching, like, Tatanka everywhere, and then while the referee's distracted in getting Elijah Burke off him, Terkay lands a punch of his own, and then Elijah Burke hits the stroke. I don't remember what he called it, like, the Elijah Express or whatever it was. It was Jeff Jarrett's finisher. And he pins freaking Tatanka, so interference there for the finish. Like, I know heels are supposed to be cowardly and they cheat and everything, but it's just like every single one to the point where it's justifying his grievance is a bit weird. Then we wouldn't see him again for another 3 weeks. Because now we're on to October 27, 2006 SmackDown. It's himself and Bobby Lashley against William Regal and Dave Taylor in a tag match. Match didn't last long, but Tatanka was on Dave Taylor in the corner doing those mounted punches. But Dave Taylor dropped into the canvas, rolled him up, and used the ropes for leverage, and Real kind of helped him a bit there. And another pinfall on Tatanka. So it's like another case of cheating. Referee missed it. Then everything comes to a head, because after the match, Tatanka's getting in the referee's face, being like, "Huh, do I have to stick a buffalo after you?" Or whatever he said. And he punches the referee, who I believe was Jack Doan, the father of Nicholas from WrestleMania 34. So he attacks the referee out of anger, and then afterwards, he attacks Bobby Lashley too, tried to calm him down, and then decided to try to flatten his nuts by stepping on his crotch at ringside. I mean, you can't flatten the BBC there, dude. But because of that, now, Tatanka's a heel. And, do we really think that turned out well? I don't think so. Because then you get to the following week. November 3rd, 2006 SmackDown. It really showed the beginning of the end, because Lashley's about to take on Jamie Noble, and Tatanka's there at the entrance area, half black, half white face paint there on his face. So, he's there just to watch the match. Lashley beats Jamie Noble, it's expected. Then after the match, he cuts a promo. He's saying like, "Oh, I'm sure you want an explanation why I attacked you. Well, I don't owe you one. I don't owe you an explanation at all, Bobby Lashley, but I will give an explanation to my people." So he basically said he's sick to death of what he's been going through the last few weeks, even though technically it was last 3 months. And he said that he's tired of what his people, Native Americans, have been put through. So he decided to contact the spirits of his forefathers to awaken this different inner warrior of himself. And if anybody wants to get in his way, well, they will be defeated by a warrior. I mean, yeah, this promo was bad. Like, I see why people say that Tatanka was not good at cutting promos. Like, you would think after all the years in the business and everything, because, like, he'd been in the business, like, what, 15, 20 years by this point? Somewhere around there? And he still couldn't cut a promo, because this just fell flat. Like, the crowd did not really react or care or anything. He's just like, "Oh, I am Tatanka. And I am an angry man. I am heel." Like, this promo just did nothing for him, and this was the beginning of the end, because I think WWE probably heard this and be like, "Yeah, why do we still have this guy around?" So we wouldn't see him for another 2 weeks until the November 17, 2006 SmackDown. Norwood sees in the UK, and he goes 1-1 against Chris Benoit. He taps out to the sharpshooter. Like, man, Tatanka, I don't know who you pissed off in the company by this point in the second half of the year, but this losing streak just kept on going for you, dude. Now, you would think something else would happen with Tatanka afterwards, because, like, I was going through every SmackDown after this because he was part of that roster. Mind you, this last match was November 17, 2006. We would not see him again until January 5th, 2007. So we would not see him for another month and a half, because on the January 5th, 2007 SmackDown, they did the Beat the Clock sprint. Within the course of that week and the following week, whoever wins their match in the fastest time faces Batista at the Royal Rumble for the World Heavyweight title. At this point, like, the matches are random, so it's Tatanka, Jimmy Wang Yang, and the time to beat was 6 minutes, 24 seconds, and they ran to a time limit draw because Jimmy Wang Yang got that moonsault at the top, but time ran out as the pin was being counted, so it was a time limit draw. And then post-match, Tatanka beats the hell out of Jimmy Wang Yang and hits him with that Samoan drop finisher. So it's like, oh, business is not done yet. And then all of a sudden, things coming out to an end the following week. January 12th, 2007, he actually defeats Jimmy Wang Yang, the Asian redneck man. I don't give a fuck. So, like, and he beats him with this new finisher, that swinging side slam. I know it's in the WWE video games. I cannot see if it even had a name. It was like, I was looking it up on everything. It was just described as a swinging side slam. I don't know if it had a name or not, but it's like, he did this once, And then we never saw him again in WWE up until WrestleMania 32 for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, because a week later, January 19, 2007, a week after he finally ends his losing streak, he gets released. Because right here on WWE's website, they say they have come to terms on the release of the following talent. They list Bill DeMott before he eventually comes back and bad stuff starts being mentioned about him. They released Tatanka with the statement saying that Tatanka is an accomplished veteran of the squared circle, the Native American, made a splash upon his entrance to the WWE in the early 1990s, remaining undefeated for more than a year while participating in some sports entertainment's biggest events. His latest run on SmackDown capped a courageous and unlikely comeback to the ring. Courageous, maybe, but there was not much of a comeback here for this half. Then they also released Sylvester Terkay, C.W. Anderson, Jazz, who people probably barely remember he even had a run back there again, Ronnie Mack, Tony Mamaluke, both of the Bashams, Al Snow, the Gymni, who were with Simon Dean, Gangrel, who I completely forgot came back, and some developmental guys, including Ryback was listed in there. And they also mentioned some other names in here who I have not seen, but that was pretty much all she wrote there. So yeah, this was kind of weird, because it's like, it always feels weird when you have these characters that at one point have an undefeated streak, and then you book them to have a big downfall at some point in their WWE career, whether it be during that same run or later. Because it's like, Tatanka, like I said, you saw him back in the 90s, he had this undefeated streak for over a year. He comes back earlier in 2006, things are fine, he's having stuff on the SmackDown brand and some pay-per-views, Velocity, stuff like that, and then once August 2006 hits, it's just a downhill slope there, with him just constantly losing due to these moments where the referee doesn't see what happens, and now he's just getting pissed off, and rightfully so, because it's just like, the referees don't notice when he is rightfully angry, like he had foot under the rope, or is wondering why you guys aren't noticing when he friggin' gets the rope break or anything, but the heels cheat and they don't catch it, or they get the ropes. Oh, you see that? It's like, he had every right to be pissed off in the storyline for this, but then attacking the referee and attacking Lashley and the terrible promo. Yeah, this was pretty bad. Like, I'm glad he got a win on his way out, but it's just like, that last few months stretch with the the losing streak, yeah, that just did not help him at all. But let me know in the comment section below, do any of you remember this weird period of Tatanka's undefeated streak, or losing streak? I'm about to say undefeated streak, but we're not back in the 90s. But let me know what y'all thought in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember, leave a like, and subscribe with the bell turned on. And if you're watching this on YouTube, comment what you thought below, folks, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Good day, everybody. And now I want some Buffalo Wild Wings.